The quality and standard of lens filters are at an all-time high, and with such a huge variety out there, it's easy to be overwhelmed with options. In a constant pursuit to produce more cinematic looking images, I've tried a ton of different filters. So in this video, I'm going to share my personal favorites, but more important, when and where to use them. Let's start with mist, because it's likely the most talked about filter at the moment. When used correctly, it really does take the digital edge off, but it's also possible to overdo it. I've shot with various strengths and I've come to the conclusion that a 1/8 is the best for everyday use. I say everyday because I use the 1/8 about 80% of the time, but there are occasions where I take it off. When using haze, I find that sometimes mist can slightly overcook the image with too much bloom, since haze already adds natural bloom to the highlights. The quarter strength, although it produces some of the most beautiful looking images, only comes on if I feel confident that it complements the creative look of the project. Because at this strength, you're starting to deal with more obvious bloom, which can also be a distraction if you're not careful. I almost never use a half strength because I feel it's a bit too intense. Now, if you have any desire to create more cinematic looking video, the one filter you cannot go without is a variable neutral density filter. I've been using the Nisi True Color VND for over a year now, and it outperforms every filter available on the market, yet still comes in at a competitive price. Nisi recently introduced the Swift system, and I'm happy to say that the best VND just got better. Swift lets you swap or stack filters in seconds by simply clicking on, making it easy to use more than one filter, retaining the freedom to quickly take it off. My favorite part of this is the addition of the 4-stop fixed ND to stack on top of the 1 to 5 stop VND, essentially creating a 5 to 9 stop without the need to change filters. This is handy when you want to shoot wide open in a bright scenario, but at this strength it's also not a filter that you want to have on your lens the whole time, so a quick on and off is a game changer. The filters fit sturdy on the front and won't come off like some of the magnetic based systems. If you already own the TrueColor 1 to 5 stop, you can simply stack the Swift add-ons on top, so you don't need to upgrade to a new filter to use Swift. But the kit comes with an empty adapter ring to use with just a Swift filter for those indoor low light shoots where you don't need a VND and want the freedom to add and remove filters. You can stack up to 3 filters without getting any vignettes, but if you go wider than 24mm on a full frame sensor, you will encounter some, so it's important to be mindful of that. Buying a Swift bundle works out cheaper than individually buying all the filters, so if you haven't invested in a system yet, this is a no-brainer. But before I carry on, I'd like to thank Landscape Gear for sponsoring this video. If you're based in South Africa, you can get a 10% discount using my code at checkout. They've created a dedicated page with a list of my favorite filters, so make sure you check out the link in the description below. A streak filter can add tremendous production value, but can also quickly become gimmicky. Depends on how you use it. This filter emulates anamorphic style lens flares and can add a lot of interest to a scene. But just like mist can also be a distraction. Streak filters work best when shooting into a hard light source, like for example the headlights of a car, or where you have smaller lights in your scene. The Nisi Allure filters come in both blue and orange, so you can use it for extra color contrast or to complement certain colors in your image. A circular polarizer is one of the most underrated filters and has the ability to radically improve an image. Polarizers are best known for removing shine from water, but it does so much more than that. A polarizer is a non-negotiable when shooting cars and products and can be the difference between amateur and professional. It radically improves blue skies and gives you a much cleaner image when shooting green foliage, since it also takes off the shine from the leaves. The Nisi polarizer is also front-threaded if you want to stack an ND or mist in front of it. Lens filters certainly have the potential to produce more cinematic looking visuals, but it's important to be intentional about which filters you put in front of your lens. So understanding the when and where is key. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to answer. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.